Hi everyone, how are you today? This is again Neil, Kemibaro.com, and today I'm speaking with Mel Okudo, who's the CEO of a company called Africa.com LLC. Thank you very much for being on the interview.
Thank you for having me.
And Africa.com is one of those websites and those places online that I think I've admired for many years. And I'm really happy that I got a chance to talk to Mel and just find out a little bit more about what they're doing in that space and what his role is within the company. So maybe Mel, you can tell us a little bit more about what Africa.com is and what it is that you're hoping to achieve with the same. We can go a couple of other questions around what it is that you're doing.
Sure. So Africa.com has been in existence for 3 years now.
Okay.
We are actually going to be 3 years old in February of this year.
Okay.
Founded by Teresa Clark with a mission to change the way the world views Africa. So right now we are one of the largest sites focused on Africa with content across different verticals: travel, current affairs, business, arts and culture, showcasing the best and newest hip about Africa, and really looking to engage both Africans in Africa and Africans in the diaspora and a global Africa-interested audience in what is going on in Africa today and some of the exciting changes that we have been privileged to observe on our continent.
And what role is it that you play at what does sort of your day-to-day kind of work look like at Africa.com?
Very varied. So as the Chief Operating Officer, it's a role that incorporates business strategy, operations, hiring. I like to think of it as a multifaceted role, which effectively means making sure the lights are turned on in the morning and the lights are turned off in the evening. So it's a really varied role involved in working on anything that we need to do from a business strategy and operations perspective, making sure that we are delivering the content, that we have the capability to deliver the content that we want to deliver, that we are monetizing it, that we have the ability to monetize it, and that we are also looking at interesting revenue opportunities that are relevant to us. And that we are also thinking about all of the different things that you need to think about as a digital media site, which encompasses what kind of content your audience wants to consume, and are we thinking about the right channels through which to deliver that content.
Okay.
And in particular thinking about social, which is a really big thing now all over the world, including in Africa.
So how can I, let's say as a business or an individual, take advantage of Africa.com?
So a couple of ways. We exist to change the way the world views Africa, and so there are a number of interesting, exciting stories, particularly in the entrepreneurial space, where businesses, people are doing new and interesting things, and we are happy to cover those kinds of stories on our site. Our readers are generally very interested in knowing about them, and those are the kinds of stories that do very well on Africa.com. So a business that is engaged in Africa, that is doing something interesting, innovative, solving a problem, we're happy to showcase those kinds of stories.
And in terms of the current sort of audience that you're getting, is it predominantly mostly from Africa? Is it international audiences? Because I imagine one of the things that happens is that a lot of people probably just key in Africa.com and hopefully hope to find something there that's relevant about Africa.
Right.
So where do audiences coming from, and is there a lot of direct navigation that happens to this website?
Yes. We have a global audience. Right now, a lot of the people who come to us primarily through search.
Okay.
We rank very highly on Google for the search term Africa. And I would say about 50% of our audience comes from the United States. A lot of those people are looking for information on travel opportunities on the continent. They're looking for information, Wikipedia type information on Africa, facts and figures. We have a sizable number of people from Europe. Our Africa traffic is somewhere between 10 and 15%
of overall traffic.
And as I say, I think that's a reflection of the fact that a lot of our traffic comes from search, People type in the word Africa and we show up there.
Okay.
Your average African is not going to go onto Google and type Africa.
Okay.
And so that explains some of that. But we also think that, and we've seen evidence of this, that we're very well positioned to attract more traffic coming out of Africa in the months and years ahead as broadband access on the continent becomes more readily accessible. We expect to see the percentage of traffic that we get out of Africa growing, becoming quite significant.
And currently, does Africa.com, is it monetizing? Are you doing various activities that are generating revenue for this website?
Yes. Our principal revenue generating activity is advertising. And we have been fortunate to form relationships with some large global brands that like what we do, like the value proposition that we have, and in particular are interested in talking to the audiences that we speak to.
Now, I always have admired obviously the brand equity around a domain like Africa.com, because it really describes in the continent in its entirety.
Right.
It could be anything and everything. But that being said, I mean, where in 2 to 5 years do you see Africa.com going? Because I mean, the whole internet space is exploding. We have something like 750 million mobile users on the continent. Of those, about 20-something million in Kenya. Where do you see this going in 2 to 5 years?
Yeah. So in 2 to 5 years, we see ourselves being one of the major platforms that individuals, audiences looking to discover Africa will come to in order to do that. And not just folks outside of Africa, but even folks within Africa itself who are looking to find out about other African countries. We typically say that we are probably not the site that Kenyans are going to come to find out about Kenya.
Okay.
Because of course they want to find out alternative views that are being expressed out there on the internet about Kenya. But that we are going to be the site that Nigerian who wants to find out about Kenya would come to.
So we get more intra-Africa traffic.
Exactly,
Yeah.
so more intra-Africa traffic. And so in 2 to 5 years, we see ourselves really growing to maturity in that role and becoming one of the key global sites that a global Africa interest audience would come to discover Africa. We have found that there is value in providing curation at 54 different countries on the continent. There's a lot going on. There's a high degree of diversity, and we celebrate it.
Absolutely.
And we are really in the business of content discovery and finding out those interesting stories on the continent and surfacing them. And people appreciate that. So we feel very good about where we will end up 2 to 5 years from now.
Okay.
From the perspective of the site that's looking to aggregate and curate and bring out the best that the continent has to offer.
Okay. Maybe my last question, Mel, is really, I know you're based in the US, in New York, I believe. What are the plans to obviously establish a possibly local presence, with Africa.com in Kenya, possibly, hubs like Nigeria, Lagos, maybe Johannesburg? Where are we along that? Because I think having a local presence would be absolutely critical to grow the relevance and reach of the platform. How's that going to happen on a sort of a Pan-African basis going forward?
Right. We expect to see it happen organically. As it is right now, we do have an office in Johannesburg.
Okay, you do actually have a local office.
We do have a local
Johannesburg.
office
Okay.
in Johannesburg. We do have a presence in Nigeria, in Lagos, which we expect to see grow. I'm Kenyan, and so I take as much time as possible to come back. And I was here in May for almost a month, and I've spent about 3.5 weeks so far in the country, meeting with a number of people that we're interested in working with.
Okay.
So we are definitely focused on building on-the-ground presence in these 3 countries and really working through those countries as a hub for covering the regions, West Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa.
Across the board.
Across the board.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Mel. I know you're traveling back tomorrow, back to the US. Thank you for being with us on MosesKemibaro.com. and we're really looking forward to seeing and hearing more about Africa.com and your great plans for the African continent.
Excellent. Thank you,
you.
Moses.
Great.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay.